Hello students, we are starting third part of our chapter chemical changes and reactions. In this part we will start from page number 42. Energy changes in chemical change. Means in this chapter we are going to study the energy considerations of a chemical reactions. We know that chemical reaction means breaking of certain chemical bonds and then formation of new chemical bonds. Chemical reactions involve breaking of bond and formation of new bonds. Whenever a bond is broken, some amount of energy is to be provided, which is called as activation energy. Means breaking of bond involves absorption of energy, and when a new bond is formed, energy gets released. Means formation of new bond requires energy, releases energy. So to understand this concept, we will take an example. You can see on the screen, the reaction is hydrogen reacts with chlorine in presence of sunlight to form hydrogen chloride. Below that I have shown bonds. H2 means two hydrogen atoms are bonded with each other, it is shown with a dash, and Cl2 means two chlorine atoms are bonded with each other, it is shown with another dash, and they combine together and form HCl, which has a bond between H and Cl. So in this reaction, as I have written, breaking of HH bond and breaking of Cl bond takes place. Suppose breaking of these bond requires 100 joules of energy. Suppose it requires 100 joules of energy, and there is a formation of H and Cl bond, HCl bond, and suppose this bond formation releases 200 joules of energy. So it means that there is a energy imbalance in many reaction. Nearly in all the reaction, this energy imbalance is present. Means the amount of energy required for breaking the bond is sometimes greater than amount of energy released while formation of a bond, or sometimes vice versa. Means sometimes amount of energy required for formation of bond is greater and amount of energy required to breaking the bond is less. So based on these consideration, all the reactions are classified into two types. First is exothermic reaction. Exothermic reactions are the reactions in which energy is given out or energy is released. Now we will see the example. Here carbon, in the example you can see that carbon reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide plus heat energy. You can see that heat energy is evolved. It means that amount of energy required for breaking the bonds is less and amount of energy released while formation of new bonds is greater. Therefore large amount of energy is released during this reaction. And similarly you can study other examples. The next type of chemical reaction based on this is endothermic reaction. In endothermic reaction, energy is absorbed. Such reactions are called as endothermic chemical reactions. The reactions which proceed with the absorption of energy are called as endothermic reactions. And let's see the example. Nitrogen reacts with oxygen to produce nitric oxide. I am considering second example. In this example, making of bond absorbs a large amount of energy, and breaking the bond absorbs a large amount of energy, but when new bonds are formed, that much energy is not released. Therefore the overall reaction absorbs heat energy. It means that we have to provide heat energy for this reaction to proceed. Now we'll turn to the next part, which is other type of reaction, which is photochemical reaction. This part is very easy to understand. Photochemical, photo means light. Photo is a term, photo is a Greek term for light. Therefore photochemical reactions are the reactions which proceed in presence of light. So we know many examples. The most widely seen example is the reaction of photosynthesis, which takes place in the plant. Take carbon dioxide and water, carbon dioxide from the air and water from the from the soil, and in presence of chlorophyll and in presence of sunlight they produce glucose and oxygen. There is another example, which is hydrogen and chlorine reacts to form hydrogen chloride, and this reaction also takes place in presence of sunlight. Now we will turn to the next page, which is page number 44, and on this page you can see that electrochemical reaction. Next type of reaction is electrochemical reaction. In electrochemical reactions, or you can easily define electrochemical reactions as electrochemical reactions are the reactions which take place in presence of electric current. And the example is water. Acidylated water means some drops of sulfuric acid are added into water and electric current is passed through it. When electric current passes, water breaks down into hydrogen and oxygen. This is an example of electrochemical reaction. Now we will turn back to page number 41, and this part is a very important part of this chapter. Conditions for chemical change means how or what things make the chemical change or a chemical reaction occur faster. How can we increase the rate of chemical reaction? There are few points. There are total 6 points, and we are going to consider these 6 points. First is close contact. Many reactions are initiated by the close contact, means you have to keep the reactants closer to each other, and this can be achieved by grinding the reactants together or mixing them thoroughly, or dilution of the reactant into water, means you can add the reactant into water and then mix them together. So they have also shown an example. Ki means potassium iodide and mercury chloride. If you keep them together, potassium iodide and mercury chloride, they will not react with each other. But if you dissolve both the reactants in water, then the reaction proceeds very quickly, or reaction takes place, means when they are in very close contact, then only the reactants react. So this is the first condition or first thing which makes the reaction faster. Next is heat. Many a times reactants do not react with each other unless externally heat is provided. A very easy example or very common example is you have wood in your house and oxygen is present in the air, but wood do not react with oxygen and burns. This do not happen at our house, but whenever we heat the wood, then it catches fire or it reacts with the oxygen. It proves that some reactions require heat energy to initiate the reactions. Next is light energy. Light energy, some reactions proceed in presence of light. Means they take place in presence of light only, that we have covered earlier. Next is pressure. Some reactions require a certain pressure, means nitrogen, the example is nitrogen and hydrogen. Nitrogen and hydrogen do not react in normal conditions. In the air, a large amount of nitrogen is present, as well as hydrogen is also present in traces, but nitrogen and hydrogen do not react with each other in air. But if they are kept in a pressure condition of 200 to 900 atmosphere, then they react to form ammonia. Next is catalytic agent, means catalyst. Some reactions take place in presence of catalyst only. Next is electric current. Some reactions require electricity to proceed. Now we will turn to page number 44 again. I will turn to page number 44, and on page number 44 you can see another type of reaction which is called as burning, and there are many definitions related to burning or combustion. So first definition, you have to add the definitions, that's all. Let's understand what are these definitions. First is combustion. Combustion is a chemical reaction in which a substance combined with oxygen to liberate heat and light energy. Combustion is a chemical reaction. Combustion means burning. A substance burns in presence of oxygen. Any substance burns in presence of oxygen, giving heat and light energy. Whenever combustion takes place, we all know that heat energy and light energy are released. Few examples are given. Next definition is combustible substances. The substance which combines with oxygen to liberate heat and light energy in the reaction of combustion is called as combustible substance. Example of combustible substance is wood. Wood reacts with oxygen to produce heat and light energy. Petrol, diesel, kerosene are some examples of combustible substances. Next is inflammable substance. Inflammable substance is a substance which quickly catches fire. It catches fire at a very low temperature. Such substances are called as inflammable substances. Liquid, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, CNG, kerosene, petrol, diesel are some inflammable substances. Non-combustible or incombustible substances, the substances which do not catch fire or do not burn in presence of air even on strong heating, are called as non-combustible substances. And the last definition is supporter of combustion. The supporter of combustion is oxygen, but in certain cases or in some cases nitrogen also supports combustion. The example is magnesium sometimes burn in presence of nitrogen to produce magnesium nitride, but these cases of combustion with the help of nitrogen are rare. Now on the page number 45 you can see next part, which is factors which affect the rate of combustion, means how the combustion can occur faster. The first factor, you have to remember these factors. If you only remember the name, the other part you can write on your own. The first factor which affects the rate of combustion is size of combustible particles. Sorry. If the size of combustible particle is smaller, then combustion takes place very quickly. The example is very easy. If you try to burn a piece of wood, it will be difficult, it will take a longer time. But if you try to burn sawdust, it will burn quickly because the particles of sawdust are very smaller. Nature of combustible substances. Inflammable substances burn very quickly. Petrol, diesel catch fire very quickly as compared to wood. Therefore nature of combustible substances also affect the rate of combustion, means if the substance is inflammable it will catch fire quickly, and if it is a non-inflammable substance then it will not catch fire as quickly as flammable substance. Nature of gaseous environment means supporter of combustion, the presence of oxygen around it. If the environment contains a large amount of oxygen, then fire increases very quickly, or combustion takes place very quickly. Next is ignition temperature of combustible substances. Substances need to be taken to its ignition temperature to burn. Therefore if the ignition temperature of the combustible substance is low, then the rate of combustion is high. So in this way we have finished the all important topics from this chapter, or we have nearly covered every topic. There is a single topic remaining on page number 45 and 46, but that topic I am keeping that topic for your self study. You can easily understand that topic. Along with it I am also giving you another exercise, that is your last exercise, and you have to complete both these exercises as soon as possible. Thank you.